Now, at the beginning of Signal, the first few years, you remember, it was to bring the outside in, and we were really focused on the digital acumen pillar just getting better and learning how to go to market and internally digest the digital revolution. Most of the entrepreneurs that came to this stage back in those early days were from the Silicon Valley. And they kind of had a similar profile, as you might expect. What I'm very proud of, the team here at P&G has done, is brought people from all over the world who are changing the world. We've already seen some of them, but I'm about to introduce you to another. His name is Fernando Machado. He is the Chief Marketing Officer of a company called NotCo, and they are reinventing the food industry. So please join me in welcoming him to the Signal stage.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Confess it feels a little bit weird to be here. Never thought I would be at Signal after 18 years of Unilever. I hope Mark doesn't call Alan Jope and Pullman, he's like angry Dutch guy, he will definitely give me a call if you hear about this. So please keep it quiet. But it's a real pleasure to be here, and I couldn't say no to the invitation. When I got the invitation, I was like, why not, right? In fact, why not is where NotCo, the entire principle of NotCo is predicated on. When the company started around 7-8 years ago, our founder and CEO started the business because he felt that the food industry was rather inefficient, a lot of trial and error, long lead times to develop things. He thought that the food industry was also inefficient when it comes to sustainability. And I think we all know what I'm talking about here. So he started the company in his house, in the garage. I think it was on his sister's room. I'm not joking. And he started with mayo. The company started in Chile. Mayo, Chile is one of the top countries in terms of per capita consumption. And he created a plant-based mayo. And the company grew from there. If you go to the website, this is what you read. We are a data company developing artificial intelligence to disrupt the food industry. I find that a little bit boring, so I'll try to explain with my own words what we do. Cannot tell that to my mom. She'll be like, what the hell are you talking about? We have an AI chef. Yeah, the name of the AI chef is Giuseppe. It's based on the Italian painter Giuseppe Archimboldo from the mid-1500s. You probably have seen some portraits with vegetables and fruits. It's a classic type of portrait. So it's basically like creating art with plants, and that's why the AI chef is called Giuseppe. And what we do so far, and I will go back to the so far in a second, so far what we do is we take an animal-derived product, we do an analysis on the product, like chromatography, evaluate the physical properties and all that good stuff, and I can geek out of that for quite some time because I love that stuff. So we do all that, we put on the AI, and the AI basically spits 5 recipes, right? And then our chef team and R&D, so it's always AI plus humans, right? We take that and prepare the recipes and go back to Giuseppe saying hey, number 3 was the best. And then Giuseppe spits another 5, and so on and so forth. And we converge into the animal target actually really quick. One of the beauties of our model is that we are not anchored in one single ingredient, right? I mean, if you are like me, I drink a lot of non-dairy, not because I'm lactose intolerant, just like the taste of almond and oats, but they come with certain limitations in terms of the physical properties. I will talk about that in a second. In our case, not milk, which is one of the products we have. By the way, all the products are not milk, not mayo, not chicken, not burger. It all starts with not. That's why the name of the company is The Not Company. We say NotCo, it's kind of easier. But it's not just one ingredient, right? I mean, not milk has cabbage, pineapple, coconut, and so on and so forth. If you look at the environmental footprint, I think that for most plant-based products, they will smash the animal proxy in terms of environmental footprint. I just picked water usage and CO2, and you can see there the difference. I could have picked not chicken. One of the key ingredients of not chicken, just to make the point, is the strawberry. You would never guess. I think that if you ask someone from R&D to formulate a plant-based chicken, they would probably not start with strawberry. That's also the beauty of the AI. It really pushes us out of our comfort zone in terms of which ingredients to explore. And usually, we come up with some really cool combination of ingredients. Not chicken, this is the water usage and CO2. I know you're probably asking, right? I mean, how does it do taste-wise? Because taste is the main driver of the category. And flexitarians, which tend to be the target audience of plant-based, they don't compromise. It's not like vegan. Vegan, they are willing to compromise on taste. Flexitarian, they won't. So it really needs to match the animal target and hopefully also be much better than the other plant-based products that are out there. So that's kind of like what we target with every product. I'm not going to bore you explaining the graph and all that, but it's basically statistical significantly parity to animal target and superior to the main competitors in the respective countries where we have the products. The other cool thing about our process is the time it takes to develop. And well, I think you probably empathize with that. Working in Unilever, I was always running quick stability tests at higher temperatures because I was rushing to get the stuff out to not lose the Walmart window to ship my product. And Not Mayo, which was it was the first product we created, took us 18 months. And as you can see, we are kind of getting better. We are not. The AI is actually. The AI is getting better at matching the target, right? I mean, we created a version of Cadbury's, not Cadbury, in 2 months. And there is no one there in the team who is an expert in chocolate, by the way. By the way, the guy, Karim, who is one of the founders too, who is our AI boss, he's PhD in astrophysics using AI. He probably doesn't know how to bake a cake. He knows AI. Adit, who is our VP in the AI field, if you look at his CV, it's like NASA. Seriously, I work with someone who works for NASA, right? Yes, we do. So it's a very high caliber of people developing the model, partnering with R&D, and partnering with a very talented teams of chefs. The custard, which is a product that you can buy, all the plant-based custard and plant-based shakes from Shake Shack, they are made by NotCo. If you go on the Shake Shack or if you go on Uber Eats, you will see on the description of the product, it's a partnership that we have with them. And it's a pretty awesome product. 3 weeks to develop. The Shake Shack guys couldn't believe when we came with the prototype and they tried and it's yeah, you nailed. Don't take my word for it. Go buy it and try for yourself. So no wonder we have so many partnerships. We have a very strong partnership with Starbucks in Latin America, with Alsea, who operates Starbucks in most of the countries in Latin America. We have a partnership with Dunkin' in Latin America. We have a partnership with Domino's. We have the Shake Shack partnership. We supply either chicken or beef, or either not chicken or not burger, to 8/9 countries for Burger King in Latin America. So we have lots of QSR partners, which is a cool way to also get the brand known, because it's a real partnership. We're not just the supplier. It goes on the merchandising. We do a joint advertising plan together and all that good stuff. We have a joint venture with Kraft Heinz. So we are doing every single one of the key products from Kraft Heinz to launch in the US. This is a JV for the US market. So we collaborate with them. We already launched at Not Mayo. I dare you to try Not Mayo and do a blind test at your house and someone tell that the product is plant-based. It tastes exactly the same. We just launched at Not Cheese, which is the Kraft Singles, and there is more coming on that space. Kraft Singles, Not Cheese, 30% market share on the places where we have the product, 80% incremental for the retailer with a higher value. Yeah, so it's a really good story to introduce the product in retail. And Kraft Heinz as number 2 most innovative company, thanks to that partnership. I'm not just saying that. If you go to the Forbes article and read, you see what I'm saying. But this is really not the part that excites me the most, honestly. Because I think that if everyone does really well the game of matching to the animal target will probably become commodity, right? I mean, if everyone is doing that well, like it becomes a price game. What really excites me is when I go to San Francisco, where is our R&D and AI lab, and I go there, and the guys are playing with the AI on ways that I never thought would be possible. You know, like, this will sound like I'm making it up, but when I was a kid, and it was always a bit weird, like, but when I was a kid, like, I used to trying to think of a color that doesn't exist, and for obvious reasons, that's not possible to do. But the AI can help us do that type of stuff. You know, like, I'll never forget when I went to San Francisco for the first time, and they were like trying stuff in the kitchen, and they said, hey, Fer, people call me Fer, like, hey, try this. And I was like, it tastes like a chocolate, it tastes like caramel, I don't really know what it is. And they were like, yeah, so we fed what chocolate was to Giuseppe based on like chromatography and all the analysis that we do, and we asked Giuseppe to create a flavor that's not chocolate, but that humans will like based on the fact that they like chocolate. And I was like, holy shit. Like, and look, I mean, that's not a very technical term, but that was my real reaction. And we showed the product to people who are chocolate experts, and they could not pinpoint what the product was. They would say, oh, it reminds me of this, it reminds me of that, but they wouldn't say, oh, this is it, because there is no it for what we created. And that's just one example. Like, every time I go there, they are like, hey, Fer, try this coffee that there is no coffee. Like, hey, try this mole sauce that there is no chocolate and there is no animal product. It is just amazing, you know, like what we can do with the technology. These are just some examples of things that we have already launched or are about to launch. But honestly, like, the limits of the technology are way ahead of some of the stuff that I'm showing here. Like, this is us solving a real problem. I don't know if you guys drink like plant-based milk, but like, if you do, you probably know that it's really hard to foam, and that's a problem for Starbucks. Starbucks today, I think, sells around 70% of the drinks, they are cold drinks, which makes it even harder to foam because the machinery was not necessarily developed for cold drinks. And then when you buy a cold drink, and it's plant-based, and it doesn't foam, when you get to your table or when you get to your car or if you order delivery, the foam goes down, right? So it feels like Starbucks is bullshitting you, because like, it's a head space that's this size, and then people go back there and ask for more milk, or Starbucks already, this is a hypothetical example, right? Starbucks has to fill more, and then you know what happens with the margin, right? So we used AI to create a version of plant-based that could foam infinite times better than any non-dairy. And actually, I would argue that foams even better than 2%. You know, and it's done like B certified, vegan, halal, kosher, allergen-free. So this is all partnering with AI to make this stuff happen. This is a cool example that we did in Brazil. In Brazil, there is a large segment of protein shakes. The problem with protein shakes that are animal-derived, like that has animal milk, is that it's very hard to find the right balance between protein and carbs. It tends to have more carbs. So for a 15-gram protein milk-derived shake, you have like 16 grams of carbs, which is weird, because maybe they should call carb shake, right? So we created a product that has 15 grams of protein, 3.5 grams of carbs, and it, of course, like it was very tempting. We had to project that on the Danone building, which owns 80% of the market share in Brazil. This is, again, just to show that like we are having fun too, like, because every time I go there, they show me something that I find mind-blowing. We are launching, end of this year, a platform here in the US, which we will call NotCo Drops. This is not public yet, because like, I don't know if there will ever be a market for plant-based mole in the US. But I think it's a really cool story to tell. You know, like to explain how the hell we use AI and precision fermentation to create a mole, right? And I want to tell those stories. So we created NotCo Drops, where we are going to do like very limited batch in the lab, and sell. I'm going to lose money, of course, doing that. It's more like a marketing thing than a really source of revenue. The first one will be plant-based fried chicken skin, because why not, right? And just to close, and as I don't want to run over time, and I think what I will say next goes really well with the previous conversations that I was watching on the behind the scenes. This is the cover of The Economist. I think it's from April of this year. And I love this cover because, yes, many of the questions that I ask about AI, they relate to, oh, Fernando, do you think AI will kill all of us or steal the jobs of everyone? And I don't know, maybe because I'm Brazilian and I'm hopeless optimistic about things. I think that AI to me is something that will be used to augment our ability as humans, our creativity as humans, to find solutions to problems that we could not solve by ourselves. And in our case, it will be to reinvent the food industry for good, because why not? Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for having me.